Okay, today I want to tie an Usk Grub. It's named after the River Usk, famous South Wales river. Why it's called a grub, I just don't know. To me, it's nothing like a grub. I think of a grub as something sort of maggot-shaped. But it's supposed to represent a shrimp. To me, it's nothing like a shrimp, to be quite honest. When I tie shrimps, my own patterns, I tie shrimps like this. This is one of my own sort of style of shrimp like this, which I've supplied to some of my friends. And one day we had, this is another shrimp, the purpley shrimp. We had a visit from Davy Wotton, who came to our club to give us a demonstration fly tie, and he tied a shrimp a bit like some of my own. This is where I got the idea from, and he said he catches some good salmon on it. But I do know it's also very, very good for sea trout. Having said that, this imitation shrimp pattern is very popular and effective on the Usk and the Wye. I lived in Hereford, so I know a little bit about Hereford. I was in the Hereford Anglers for a period. Whatever it's called, or we think it represents, I think it triggers some sort of feeding response to the fish. It brings back the memory of it when it's at sea. Okay, it's very popular in Scotland, and the most famous shrimp pattern, I think, was the one devised by Pat Curry from Coleraine in Northern Ireland. He done a fabulous, I think it's called the red shrimp. He done one or two others, but the red shrimp is his most famous one. Okay, so it's good for salmon and for sea trout. Now, that's fine. I'm going to start now. I'm going to use a red silk, as you can see, because the pattern says it should have a red head. And so I'll be using a red silk, which I've already waxed. The hook is a size 4. It can be tied on a 6 or an 8. This is a Camazan 180, a B180, and it's a salmon style. Can you see that little fold over in the eye there? It's a salmon style hook. Okay, I'll give it a go now. Start near the head and take the silk down towards the bend. Now, the tail on this fly is golden pheasant breast feather. It's the same fly as the same feather that is used on some of the, well, most of the shrimps actually. On the smaller versions you can just use a large cock hackle for the tail. Pardon me. Right, first of all we're going to put in the tag. The tag is just a section of silver at the back end, and it hopefully will show through the tail. It's a braid, an oval silver braid, and I'll be using the same for the ribbon as well. So I'll just take this down a little further to give a foundation for the braid. Okay, now you'll note I'm tying in the length of the body. If we keep tying everything in at the back end, we'll just get a stub there. We'll get a lump, which I want to avoid. Okay, that'll tie that down for the moment like that, and then I'll go back down ready to secure it. Now before I do that, I'll just put a touch of varnish to help to stick the braid tag down. Not a lot, just a touch like that. I put the varnish my side only because I use my finger. It's one of my tie-in habits. I keep my finger the other side, and if the varnish was that side, I'd get it on my fingers. That's all we're going to need for the tag. Just like that. I'll take the silk down, ready to secure it. Like that. Okay. The golden pheasant breast feather for the tail. This is a feather. It's a lovely feather. We wind this like a hackle, and because it's a body feather with a thick stalk, we'll be tying it in by the tip. This happens on most body feathers, and to do that we get that section there, form a little sort of, I call it a waist. You have to be a bit careful because when you tie in this narrow part here, it can be a bit brittle and can break off. Let me just remove this so I can see where we're going. Okay, now I'll just park my silk up the front a little until I get this feather right. You'll see I'm trying to do what we call double in the hackle. That's drawing the hackle back. I call it a hackle because it's going on like a hackle. Keep drawing things back like this to give us the tail. If you find it's getting a bit mangly, you can give a brush like this to get things back. I think it's going to be okay. It's a little bit fiddly to put on, but it does come out okay once we draw everything back. Now I'll take my silk back up, ready to secure this stalk and tie it down. I get to about there. Tie it all down nice and firm, like that, and nip off that little stub. And that's our tail, which is a body hackle. I'll just wind onto it a little bit to give it the profile I'm looking for, like that. Okay, right, now we'll tie in some rib. I'm going to use the same material as I used for the tag, so I'll put some more, this bit of rib in here. Again, I'm going to tie it the length of the body. The body's in two halves, so this is going in halfway up the body. Right, now this half of the body is orange floss, like this. So I'm going to tie this in now to give us the body. Just a little bit long, so I'll just cut that there. Secure this all down halfway, just halfway. about there. Again, just park my silk up the front and I'll wind on this body. It's difficult not to get a lump at the rear, so I'm trying to even things out by going back down and then back up, because I want the body to look fairly even. Let's get my silk back and I'll secure it there. Okay. Nip out any little bits I don't want, and I will now rib. If this was a soft body, seal's fur or something, or a hurl body, I would rib the opposite way, but I won't need to do that with this rib. So let's tie that down. Nip off the surplus. Okay, the next item is going to be a white cock hackle. At this stage we put on 2 hackles. We put on a white one behind an orange. I don't bother to bend the stalk back on these big flies because it's a big wind. Right, here I go, doubling the hackle again. This is what I mean when I say doubling the hackle, drawing it back like that. This gives a nicer profile to the fly. Keep drawing the hackle back. Hope you can see that. This hackle is just to support the one in front, which I'll be putting on in a moment or two. Give a couple of winds to secure it, and now I'll wind up onto it to get the profile that I'm looking for. That's okay. Right, the orange hackle. This one here, another cock hackle, which I'll be putting on. Just prepare it, cut off the rubbish, and tie it on. Okay, again, double the hackle, draw it back. Drawing it back doubles the hackle. Nip off the surplus. Okay, that's good. Right, some more braid for the rib of the next part. For the front half of the body. And the front half of the body, I simply use wool, ordinary knitting wool. Don't need too much, so I'll cut some off this long length, and I'll get one strand out of it. The way to do that is get it and draw it down like this. Just draw down. See that? Just draw it all down. This can be used for another. Okay, ordinary black knitting wool. I like it, I use it a lot in various flies. Tie it down well. Leave the silk there while I wind it. Okay, this is the front half of the body. When you tie in a lot of materials in one place, it's easy to get a sort of a lump. It's not a problem really, but if you're using something like this wool or the floss, you can always go back over, as I'm going to do now, to sort of even things out. Like that, and come back up. Okay, we're there. So that now will just secure the wool body. Remove the surplus, and I'll rib it again as before. A rib certainly adds a bit of attraction to a fly, a little bit of flash, and certainly adds a bit of something to it, as well as making it more durable. And you want a fly that's going to last you. Okay, so what we've got the tail, the golden pheasant breast feather. We've got an orange floss and we've ribbed it. Two hackles in the centre of the body, the white and the orange. Now black front half to the body, which we've ribbed. Right, next item, jungle cock cheeks, or jungle cock eyes as some people call them. Now the jungle cock is a cape. It's a cape which just comes from the neck, and these are where ordinary hackles come from. It's the head of the jungle fowl, the one that roams the jungles of India. We pull out two feathers like this, ready to tie on, because we want them, they're more like wings than eyes, actually. Now we can put them on one at a time or two at a time. I'll put them on one at a time, I think. One like that. Small stalk. Bend back. I'll just have a look at it. That's okay. I'll nip out that stalk while I'm there. That's one. And I do the same this side. Look at it, get the right length. We want them the same if we can. And this one goes on this side. Bit unusual to use jungle cocks as wings, but this is the pattern. It works very well. Bend the stalk back this side. Tie this down. That's great. Now jungle cock eyes or wings, whatever you want to call them, quite expensive on a hackle, and they are recommended for lots of flies. But I will say to you, don't worry too much. If you haven't got them, just carry on. Use the fly without. Right, now we put on a biggish dark brown hackle, cock hackle. Everything I've used on this fly is a cock hackle. You may have heard me say in the past, for wet flies we use a hen hackle, but on these biggish flies, salmon and sea trout flies, we use a lot of cock hackles. Right, tie this cock hackle in. The true tie-in is a cockabondi. This is the nearest I've got to it. I don't think there's much difference. Okay, I'll get my silk up the front. And this is the big reddish brown cock hackle. It's got quite a bit of black in it, which I like. Now if I do disturb these jungle cock eyes, I will try to straighten them up a bit shortly. Okay, that's all we need for the time being. Just secure it until I can secure it properly. Nip out the surplus, and I will just see how things are looking here. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. Draw everything back, and you will see me now again winding up onto the hackle prior to finishing the head. This is the Usk Grub shrimp pattern. Okay, I'm now going to do the whip finish, and then I will see if I've disturbed those jungle cock eyes. Whip finish, trap the silk, wind forward towards the eye with this one, with this top one. Big fly, so I give it about 5 winds. Dubbing needle in the loop, very important, otherwise it'll all knot up, and draw it up. Now that it's there, I can nip off the silk, and the fly is just about finished. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Now I'm just going to varnish the head, and we're done and dusted. I use my Sally Hansen's varnish for this. It gives a nice, firm, solid head. When I lived in Hereford, the Usk Grub was talked about a lot on the River Wye. I have to confess, my interest in those days was in trout. I fished a river lug for trout, and believe me, mayfly hatches were incredible there in that part of the world on the river lug. Okay, there's our fly. Very good fly for salmon and sea trout. It's called the Usk Grub. These are various Scottish versions of it. This one is a Bann special from the River Bann in Northern Ireland. Very similar, very similar. And then we've got some of these others, Scottish versions, black and gold shrimp. Not a lot of difference at all, really, just different colours in the hackles. And this is a beauty, very colourful, pretty fly, called the Apache shrimp. You can see these are from different parts of the country, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and this one we'll say is from Wales because Usk is in Wales, but it's used on the Y, which is Herefordshire. Okay, that's all I want to show you today, and I thank you for watching.